Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. It's been a minute. I'm Nugget. This is my co-host Mwest, and today we have a very fun, maybe not even fun, a very interesting topic that I'm looking forward to speaking on because I feel like it's not addressed enough, and it has to be addressed. So, the topic is when it comes to content creation, do you use it as a form of disassociation, or should you use it to disassociate from what's going on in the real world? Now, the context for this topic came from a creator who's very popular and one of my favorite creators to watch. Kiwi on the Sticks posted on Twitter that she felt like it's so difficult to continue to put on a fake smile and to continue to go on with content and doing all this hee hee ha ha stuff when there's a lot going on in the world with COVID, Palestine, just our government on the brink of something collapse. I mean, there's just so many things going on in the world. So it's very difficult to kind of come into streaming or content creation or whatever it is that you're doing and just say, yeah, everything's fine and ignore the world.
The more time that goes on with like all this stuff going on with COVID and Palestine and just all this stuff, and I'm just like, I've just been struggling, you guys. I've been struggling so bad that I can hardly, post videos myself and be like, hee, like, who cares? I don't even care about myself right now. Of course, it's easier day to day to survive this type of stuff when you look away, focus on what you can control, blah, blah, blah. But I can't.
I wanted to talk about it from my perspective and also get your thoughts as well, West.
Yeah, man. I you shared the video with me, and I looked at the video, and just outside looking in, her feelings seem very real and very valid. There is a lot of stuff going on. I sometimes feel overwhelmed and the pressure, right? And us being in content or being in this space, we're getting a lot of it, a lot more. It's all over our timeline. There's other content creators talking about it. We're seeing it on YouTube, on all the platforms that we try to cover, right? So I do feel that it is important for us to kind of disconnect from socials every once in a while. It can become very taxing on us, and it takes a crazy strong person to be able to not feel some of this stuff, right? So watching Kiwi talk about this, it hit me. I felt a certain type of way, and not just because she was upset, but these things are real. These things are happening. Her feelings are real, right? And I don't always think about uh, how heavy COVID impacted people and is still impacting people, right? Sometimes I'm
Right.
able to like disconnect and don't realize because my immediate circle, my friends, you, other people I connect with aren't really struggling with it as much. So I do think a certain disassociation is important for all us content creators. When and how, I don't know.
And I think that's the part that varies person to person. And
Right.
I know Kiwi said that she finds it difficult to do so, whereas I'm
Hmm.
one of the people who feels like that's kind of what keeps me going. I feel like whenever I can do content, it kind of gives me like an escape from some of the things that are going on in my personal
Right.
life and in the world. And I feel like it's a double-edged sword because at the same time, there are a lot of people who are like, hey, I do this so I can kind of escape. And there are some people who are like,
Hmm.
I can't even escape because this is affecting my creativity. So I
Right.
think it can go either way. I feel like her feelings are very validated, and I often feel the same way sometimes. But it's not with content; it's more so like with scrolling social media.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you can scroll social media and see something really negative, and if you read that thing for too long, the algorithm will
Hmm.
send you more things. Like it'll send you.
Hmm.
Like I was reading the other night. I think it was something about the government. I can't remember exactly what it was, but like the next thing I knew, I was down this rabbit hole for an hour just reading
Right.
all of these terrible things that are going on. And so I wonder, like, when that happens to me, I usually have to do like an algorithm reset where I'll go and I'll watch like a bunch of happy things to try to reset it. What do you do
That's
when that
dope.
happens to you?
Just kind of thinking about this topic, right? So number one, I'll probably put some links in the description for some mental health sources that you guys can utilize just in case you guys are struggling with stuff. And then number two, I kind of look at content creation as my job, right? So I treat it as important as work. So when I take vacations from work, doesn't mean that I double up on content creation. I take a break from content creation. So like last year, I took several breaks, right? So me and my family went on a vacation to Hawaii. I didn't double down. I took that break from content. Like, hey guys, I can't do it, and that disconnect really helped me. During Thanksgiving, I did the same thing, just disconnected and just put everything down. And then during Christmas, I disconnected again. Hey, I'm going on a holiday. I'm going on my break with my family. So taking healthy breaks. But day to day, what I do to kind of help me is I work out. And I know it just sounds so cliche to
Mm,
say, but running or doing some physical activity helps me deal with some of that stress and negativity that I built up from looking at social media so constantly. So for an hour and a half, 2 hours, I have to put down my phone and I'm running and I'm exercising and I'm thinking through problems or stress or things that is bothering me. And by the time I'm done, I have like that mini reset. I feel good that I completed a task and then I can kind of jump back in there, look at stuff, hang out with friends, and just kind of be a little bit normal. Cause, my mental health, I have to be there for not only myself, but I have kids and a wife and people who depend on me. So I have to be the best me, as healthy as possible. And so I have to constantly be thinking about how do I reset? How do I, take myself out of all the bad things that are happening in the world sometimes so I could, help my kids with my homework or be a nice dad or be, fun and take them to their games and be pleasant, right? It's not easy, but those are some of the small things that I do to kind of balance out with some of the negativity that's happening.
it's interesting that you say that, that you have so many people that depend on you, because I feel like that's the case for a lot of people, and I
Hmm.
feel like we're not robots, so we can't pour from an empty cup. So
Right.
that I feel like it's important to do what you're doing and say, hey, I have to find something that helps me so that I can kind of
Hmm.
recharge
Yeah.
and sort of be able to pour from a filled cup instead of an empty one. And that's something that I'm working on. But I definitely think I feel like this is an ongoing issue, and I would
Right.
love for
Right.
other creators and people to chime in. Like, do you disassociate? Do you pretend like the stuff is just not there, or are you somebody
Right.
who feels the weight of all the things going on in your personal life and in the world, and is that affecting your creativity? I really want to get a lot of opinions on this. There were a lot of people who chimed into Kiwi's post, and I thought it was a really good post, and I thought
Mhm.
it's important, even just to have conversations like this and just talk through what it is that you do in case of you're feeling down, or say, hey, are you feeling okay? I think that sometimes just talking to
Yeah.
somebody could be like the first step to just helping just relieve some of the stuff going on.
Yeah, and like one other thing that I recently did, shout out to our friend Double O. He was talking about reading and different things like this in his Discord, and I was like, "Hey, do you have any like mental health or motivational books that you recommend?" And he gave me a few. I remember that I would listen to those sometimes to kind of reset my thought process, and it would kind of kick me back into like a better place and thinking about things in a better perspective. So even reading can kind of help refocus your attention from some of this negativity. So add that to the list.
All right, I definitely got some books in my backlog that I haven't even touched.
Right.
But this has been addressed, as Wes likes to say. Shout out to Kiwi, a phenomenal creator. I really appreciate her transparency and
Yeah.
her willingness to come and share what she's going through with all of us. And I think that it's conversations that need to be had way more often. So, big fan. We love you, Kiwi. And anything you want to add, West?
No, man. I think this was dope. It's certainly a little different from what we normally talk about, but a more serious and a topic that we definitely need to hit on. So, thank you for kind of bringing this up, and I really enjoyed it.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one.